Hi everyone. This week's presentation covers the legacy of Thomas Jefferson, in particular, his legacy in regards to religious freedom. There are a couple of reasons why this is important. First, Thomas Jefferson himself saw this as one of his legacies, indicated by his request to have one of his achievements listed as being the author of a bill for establishing religious freedom. And another reason is in regards to more recent events of Supreme Court cases, such as Jefferson versus Board of Education, using Jefferson's words to apply to the First Amendment. Now, many have the idea that Jefferson coined the phrase wall of separation due to that case. However, the term actually originated during the Renaissance and Reformation time periods. During the Reformation, we find that it was not the secularists that were using the idea, but it was the clergy themselves. Martin Luther, reformer, wrote of a, quote, paper wall between the spiritual state and temporal estate. And John Calvin made a distinction between the spiritual kingdom and political kingdom in his Institutes of the Christian Religion. It's not known whether Jefferson was familiar with the reformers' writings, but it does demonstrate that the term wall of separation was an idea that had been discussed long before Jefferson penned the phrase. The context under which he wrote this was in response to the Danbury Baptist Association of Connecticut. In October of 1801, the Danbury Baptists wrote to Jefferson in concerns of religious freedom. And this concern was not surprising, as Baptists were among the dissenters that were persecuted under the Anglican Church. In their letter to Jefferson, they refer to the First Amendment as the first object of legislation, but state that the treatment they were receiving in Connecticut was not consistent with the rights of free men or inalienable rights, but they were only given, quote, favors granted. They go on to acknowledge that they recognize the president did not have the power to destroy state laws. However, they hope the president's previous work in regards to religious freedom would, quote, shine and prevail through all the states in all the world till hierarchy and tyranny be destroyed from the earth, end quote. In Jefferson's response, he assures them that the powers of government reach actions only and not opinions. He then reassures them that the legislator, meaning the Congress, should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, thus building a wall of separation between church and state. As stated previously, this term was used to promote a strict separatist view. However, in his article, A New Perspective on Jefferson, Views on Church-State Relations, Daniel Dreisbach argues that Jefferson had a more flexible church-state model. He points to the collective legislation of Jefferson that was intended to amend the remnants of British rule in Virginia and promote a Republican government. Disestablishing the Anglican Church in Virginia was key to further separating America from the mother country and establishing its own identity. Moreover, disestablishing the Anglican Church was only one of the 5 bills concerning church-state relations. Other bills included protecting the property of the Anglican Church and authorizing state governors to have to grant days of public fasting, humiliation, and thanksgiving. His own personal writings in this regard further give context to what Jefferson was concerned about in regards to religious liberty. In A Test of the Religious Principles of Mr. Jefferson, written in the year 1800, he highlights the history of persecutions endured by various Christian sects. And he encourages liberty of conscience and reason and inquiry as a means to which true religion can flourish. In this regard, he states, reason and free inquiry are the only effectual agents against error. Give a loose to them, they will support the true religion. He goes on to give historical examples of how truth can emerge, and he reminds the people that, quote, had not the Roman government permitted free inquiry, Christianity could have never been introduced, and had not free inquiry been indulged at the era of the Reformation, the corruptions of Christianity could not have been purged away. Therefore, within this context, the legacy of Jefferson's religious liberty was to ensure that a government would promote and support free thought of ideas so that true religion would prevail.